Hi, girls, gays. Oh my god, I hit my mic. Hi, girls, gays, and theys. Of course, I waited until the middle/end of the month to make a Pride video. That is very much my style. And I'm not even going to try to make an excuse about it. I wanted to shed some light on some anime that I think aren't really talked about a lot when it comes to queer anime or anything that's like LGBTQ, any like gay or trans characters, things that might be more recent too, ones that I think deserve a lot more credit than they're given. So I'm not going to be talking about like any of the big anime. So I'm not going to be talking about Banana Fish. I'm not going to be talking about Given. I'm not going to be talking about Utena. I'm not going to be talking about Yuri on Ice. Those are all amazing anime, and I think that you should watch them. But I wanted to shed some light on some, niche anime that I think deserves some time. I want to note that although I am queer, I'm not a very big Yuri or Yaoi fan. Like, if you are, that's like fine. I'm only like slightly judging you. But they just come off as kind of like boring or corny, weird, problematic, or all of the above. I'm looking at you, Junjo Romantica. But yeah, so most of these are going to be standard kind of like action anime or like shonen, shoujo. You'll see what I have in here. They're all like a different range of anime in here, but I am the queen of slice of life. So that's probably what most of these are going to be. A lot of the anime that I'm going to be talking about are also pretty short, because if you're catching this video now or even in like a few days, it's going to be after Pride. So I wanted to make something that was super bingeable, or that you could watch on like a weekend or like a day or two. Most of these are going to be around 12 episodes, if not in like 24, like 1 to 2 seasons, 1 to 2 cores. So split them up how you will, but I'm going to make it a rather short anime, because I know a lot of people are like, I'm not going to go watch something that's really, really long just for one queer character that might be in there for one episode. So I'm going to keep it pretty short. The first anime that I want to talk about is The Magical Revolution of the Reincarnated Princess and the Genius Young Lady, aka Tenten Kakume. And yes, I did have to look at my screen for that to remember the entire title, because I forgot it. Even though I love that anime, I did. It's so long. Okay, don't judge me. I had to put it off to the side. But this is actually one of my all-time favorite like queer gay anime. So I had to put it on this list as the first one that I talk about. According to my anime list, the description of it is Princess Anisfia Anis Win Paletia has always dreamed of flying through the sky, even though the people of her kingdom consider it a silly ambition. Also at odds with her goal is the fact that Anis is incapable of using magic despite her noble status. Refusing to give up so easily, she renounces her right to the throne and focuses on developing magicology by combining various resources with knowledge from her previous life on Earth. Due to Anis's nature, responsibility for the kingdom's future is passed on to her younger brother, Algard. Pushed into a political marriage with Euphilia Magenta, a girl he hardly knows, Algard rebels by spending more time with a commoner girl than his fiancée. After Euphilia tries to intervene, Algard publicly calls off their marriage and denounces his ex-fiancée as a bully. After crashing into the banquet where Algard makes the announcement, Anis rescues Euphilia on the flying broom she is testing. She decides to make Euphilia her assistant, which the other girl reluctantly agrees to. Although the partnership appears random at first, Anis has an ulterior motive for wanting Euphilia's company. So I love this anime to bits. I actually found it after watching Licorice Recoil. It's like one of the top recommended anime on there. And I was like, I had never heard of it before. And I think it was brand new when I saw it too. Like, it had just come out. And I was like, oh, what's this? And I watched it. Y'all, can we give it up for a good Yuri anime? For the first time ever. I feel like there's no good Yuri anime ever. Like, let's give it up to the women who love women. We won with this one. It is so good. And it actually portrays them as like human beings with like good intentions. They're so cute. They're so quirky, so like relatable. And even though they're like high class, high society, whatever, I feel like they're actually amazing people, unlike some anime that I know. The characters in this are so much fun, and they feel real and feel really, really fleshed out. I love this anime a lot because of the brother, who is like a despisable male character. It actually is a little bit like man-hatey. They make it like the whole point of the story, which I think is really fun. So it's a very like fuck men kind of anime. Anis is super quirky, and she's super fun, super lovable. She actually is really, really funny, which I find it hard to like laugh out loud on anime. But I think that you should give this one a shot. I think that the love in this show is like so real, and it's so heartfelt, and it feels actually organic compared to a lot of romance anime, especially yaoi and yuri, without being like too over the top too. Like, it's mostly about the world and the characters and less about the relationship. I think it's more about like kind of how they grow as people, and then organically they just kind of, you know, form something that might be slightly more romantic. I don't want to give too many spoilers about any of these shows, but you know, you have to give it a try. Go watch 1010. I love 1010 so much. So the next show that I want to shout out is Sasaki and Miayno, which, if you are gay and you have not seen Sasaki and Miayno and you've been in the anime space for the last, like, has it been a year or two? It has to have been at least a year, right? Since that show came out? I don't know. But this show is so adorable. It is so cute, and I think that it deserves all the love in the world. Yoshikazu Miayno's troubles first start one hot summer day when Shumei Sasaki steps into his life. Sasaki saves Miayno's classmate from a group of bullies, and after that, Miayno cannot seem to shake off his eccentric upperclassman. His silent admiration for Sasaki gradually sours into annoyance each time the so-called delinquent refuses to leave him alone. Constantly being called by cute nicknames and having his boundaries ignored, Miayno wonders why Sasaki wants to get close to him. The shy and easily flustered Miayno harbors an embarrassing secret. He is a fudanshi, a boy who, like boys, love manga. The last thing he wants is for other students to find out, but through a slip of the tongue, he reveals the truth to Sasaki. Intrigued, the clueless Sasaki asks to borrow a book to read, which he is given very reluctantly. To Miayno's surprise, Sasaki enjoys the BL that he receives and asks for more, making a shift in their strange dynamic. Although Sasaki appears to possess some personal agenda, his feelings for Miayno become complicated the more time they spend together. As they now share a common interest, their relationship is poised to change and further develop. So this anime is very, very similar to me as 1010. It's very fluffy, very, very gay. This one, I will say, is not an action anime. It's not an adventure anime. It is just a cute, romantic slice of life. So if you're looking for something that's super fluffy, simple, kind of like romance, coming of age story, think of it as like a cross between, like, I would even say Fruits Basket. I think it's made by the same people who did Fruits Basket. So think of it as a cross between Fruits Basket and Horimiya, but like make it gay. So like just really wholesome. You should definitely give it a try. It's so cute. There's almost nothing to spoil here. It's just adorable, and you have to give it a shot if you want something that's super cute, not problematic. You just want to see gay people flourish and love each other. Please watch Sasaki and Miayno. Third anime that I want to shout out is Hakata Tonkotsu Ramens. This is, at least in my sphere or my area of things, like pretty niche. I haven't seen a single person talk about this anime, and it's a little bit complicated, but I'm going to read the description first and then I'll kind of give you the lowdown on what I think of it. Although the city of Fukuoka might look relatively peaceful at first glance, in actuality it houses a thriving mixture of dangerous individuals such as killers, detectives, and professional revenge seekers right beneath its surface. Among their number is Zenji Bamba, a laid-back and observant detective who is investigating the work of other hitman companies in the area. However, Bamba might not be the only one with a bone to pick with these organizations, as Sean Ming Lin, a cross-dressing male hitman in the employ of one such company, begins getting fed up with his lack of jobs and pay. One day, after Lin's current target commits suicide before the hitman could reach him, his company refuses to pay him even half the amount they were originally supposed to for the assassination. Frustrated, Lin requests another mission and is offered the job of taking out Bamba, whom his organization believes has been interfering with their business. However, when Bamba arrives at his home and finds the hitman inside, Lin surprisingly doesn't even attempt to kill him. Instead, he offers the detective another option: to join him and form a team. With the offer on the table, exactly how will Bamba respond, and just what plan does Lin have in store for the underground world of Fukuoka? So kind of like I was just saying a second ago, this one is a really interesting pick for me because it's not directly gay by any means. One of the main characters, Lin, that I had just talked about, they quote unquote say that he's like a cross-dresser, but I think that this anime is kind of like, I don't know, it feels to me very queer coded in a way that's like only queer people would really understand. The relationship, I think, between Bamba and Lin is very gay and queer without being like overtly gay. There is no mention or any kind of direct romantic relationship that goes on between the two. And usually I'm not a huge fan of people saying that an anime or a show or a movie is gay when they're not. But I think it's up to a lot of queer people to kind of interpret and find queerness themselves. And I think this is one of those anime that do it really, really like deeply. It's detailed and very kind of like convoluted. Like there's a lot of things that you can kind of extrapolate from it that you would only really see as a queer person. And I think that it has a lot of like queer coding to it. So I think that although I don't really like the thought of them calling Lin a crossdresser, it doesn't do the show justice to call Lin a crossdresser. Personally, Lin is trans. It's just something that they didn't want to say in the anime because they wanted to appeal to the widest audience possible. So I kind of come at it from a very queer lens, and that's kind of how I interpreted the anime. Now, I don't think that this anime is a 10 out of 10 by any means. I think I rated it like a 6 or a 7. It really starts to fall off towards the end, especially like the last like 4-ish episodes, the very last. I don't even know if it's the last arc necessarily. I think it's longer than that. I think the last arc is only like 2 or 3 episodes. But yeah, it's still a really, really like decent anime. And I think that it's worth the watch. The action's pretty good, especially if you're a fan of Cowboy Bebop. I think that you'll really, really love the show. It's literally a copy and paste of Cowboy Bebop, but if you threw baseball in, I think that it's really, really weird to think about, and it's almost even stranger to watch. My partner is like a huge fan of Cowboy Bebop, and it was like, hey, this is so eerily similar. Like it is exactly the same. You just have to watch it and take my word for it. If you want something that so isn't as directly gay, but you can kind of like translate it as being very queer, I think that this show is inherently queer in its kind of messaging and how it's conducted. Even the baseball uniforms are like pink, which is really, really cool. I think that you should give this anime a shot. Although it is just like Cowboy Bebop, it's so unique at the same time, and I think that everyone should give it a shot. So watch Hakata Tonkotsu Ramens. The next show that I want to talk about is The Eccentric Family. Again, I'm going to read the description, and then I'm going to give you why I think that it's pretty gay, but I think that this show is so gay. My anime list says, Kyoto has been populated by groups of Tanuki and Tengu for years, living alongside humans who are oblivious to the existence of these creatures. Yasaburo Shimogamo is the third son of an influential Tanuki family who spends his carefree days taking care of an old Tengu, observing humans through his ability to shapeshift and dealing with the mysterious woman named Benten. Behind the peace and tranquility, however, is a painful memory from long ago, as Yusaburo's father, head of the Tanuki community, was killed and eaten by a group of humans known as the Friday Fellows. Uchoten Kuzoku follows the trials and tribulations of the Shimogamo brothers as they struggle to avoid their own grisly demise, while coming ever closer to unraveling the truth behind their father's death. Now, The Eccentric Family really, really gets me. There's something that is so trans about this anime, and that's kind of all that I can say. This is a 2-season show, but the very first episode, so it's not really a spoiler, is them actually saying that Tanuki have the ability to transform at will and shapeshift into whatever form that they want to. And they asked the main character, maybe if I can find it, I'll insert a clip of it, about how they used to be female, like the other day, now they're male. And they're like, hey, well, for Tanuki, we don't have gender, we don't have sex. We just kind of like change into whatever we want to. And I think that it is so, so cool because it really sets the tone for the entire anime. And I think unless you're trans or unless you're queer, you don't come into the anime thinking like that. You just kind of take it as it is. But if you're trans or you're queer, I think you take this anime to a whole different level and you have a whole different perspective for it. And I think that it's way, way deeper to queer and trans people than it would be to straight or cis people. That's why I give this show a huge, huge recommendation. I think that it's a big just trans allegory, a storyline for like living as a trans person or like living in a trans community, both found family. There's so many things that the Eccentric Family talks about, and I think being trans is just one of them. It also talks about loss, feeling incompetent in society, or feeling like you're not worthy of love. It feels like you're not worthy of, people looking at you with high regard, like you're not worthy of a lot of things. People not supporting you, a lack of familial support, a lack of friendship. It deals with betrayal. It deals with a lot of things. I actually want to do an entire video about this anime. There's a lot that goes on with it, but that's kind of all I want to say about it. If you're queer, I think that you will have a really, really fun and unique experience watching this Eccentric Family, so please give it a look. The fifth anime that I want to throw in here, and you know I had to do it because that's how this channel started, is Zombieland Saga. I had to throw in an idol anime. I know I had to do it. Be so thrilled with me right now. That's just who I am. That's who I'll always be. If I have a chance to throw in an idol anime, I'm gonna do it. So this show isn't about being gay necessarily. It's not about gay relationships or anything like that, but it is about a group of dead high school girls, which, like, if you're a gay man, you're gonna love this show. If you're trans, you're gonna love the show because guess what? There's a trans girl and she's cute, she's kawaii, she's a little bit cunty, like she's so great. And then you have a bitchy girl in here, Saki, my best girl. You would think it would be a Lily, but it's not. Saki is best girl. She's definitely a lesbian. Like, you cannot tell me that this is not the biggest lesbian that you have ever seen. Like, she gives the biggest gay vibes ever. And that's why I want to shout out the show. I think that it's kind of the gay show. It's kind of the gay anime. It has music in it. It has really fun, quirky girls. There's cute girls doing cute things. It's an idol show. It really can do it all. And I think that it's like the cherry on top of a perfect Pride month, especially Pride weekend. God, it's fucking amazing. Sakura Minamoto dreams of becoming an idol. Unfortunately, reality hits her like a truck and she dies in a sudden traffic accident. 10 years later, she wakes up in Saga Prefecture, only to find herself a zombie with no memory of her past. While still coming to terms with her demise, she meets with a man named Kotaro Tatsumi, who explains that he has resurrected her and 6 other zombie girls from different eras for the purpose of economically revitalizing Saga by means of an idol group. Assuming the role of an abrasive manager, Kotaro begins scheduling events. The girls go along with it, eventually deciding to name their idol group Franchuchu. An absurdly comedic take on the idol genre, Zombieland Saga tells the story of Franchuchu's heartwarming struggle to save Saga Prefecture while hiding their zombie identities and rediscovering their past lives. So just like I said, this anime is perfect in every way. It is a 10 out of 10 to me, which is very, very rare. I pretty much said everything I had to say about it. Go watch Zombieland Saga. So I did have a secret little 6 anime that I wanted to throw in here. Did I have a reason for it? No. Is it gay? No. But is it gay? Yes. And that is Free Iwatobi Swim Club. I'm not going to throw in the description of the show. If you know, you fucking know. This show is amazing. This is one of the only shows where I will be like, fan service? Sign me the fuck up. This show is so good. It's just about a swim club with a bunch of guys who just go swimming. It's about the power of friendship. It is so awesome. I surprisingly watched this in the dub, and the dub is just as, if not more amazing than the sub. And you can fight me on that one. But I do love Free just all around. If you have the time and the energy, if you want like a longer anime, I think, if I remember, it's 3 seasons and 3 movies or something. And each season has a recap. Is there 4? I don't know. I'll correct it here. It's just one of those anime that I'll let slide. It is so gay without being gay at all. And you know what? It's been so long since I've heard anyone else talk about Free at all that I had to bring it up. I can't let this one slide. I had to throw it in there. So if you have the time, if you've seen Free, watch Free again. If you haven't seen Free, watch Free. It's great. I love it. I guess that's all that I really have to say. I hope that you give, if not all of these anime, I hope you give at least one a shot. And I hope at least one you either haven't heard of or you haven't seen yet. I know a lot of the Pride anime characters or like gay anime characters, queer anime, trans anime characters, like what should I watch anime wise when it comes to Pride season, are like kind of the same ones I mentioned at the beginning of this video. And you know what? No shade. I respect and love basically all the anime that I mentioned earlier. I don't want to mention any of like the really problematic or bad one. Well, I did. But yeah, I don't want to shout them out or recommend them because I don't. These are the 5 that I think are super refreshing. I think it needs to be in the zeitgeist of like, what are we talking about when it comes to like queer characters, queerness in the anime sphere? So yeah, happy Pride. What is your favorite gay character? What's your favorite gay anime? What's your favorite gay ship? I don't know. Let me know in the comments what your favorite gay thing is and let's celebrate Pride. Or if you're watching this after Pride, let's just make any other day or month gay and let's watch some gay anime. So thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.